Let's take a look at these slides within the slides here, and I am going to try to just move through them quickly. There's lots of information on them, but basically it's going to show you that you can jump into the editor and start playing with some scripts. I'm sorry, I actually already had Move Monster in here, and this was supposed to be a point at which you introduced Move Monster. So maybe if I were to say, let me take that one away and delete that, okay. So this starts from this point and it says, hey, let's type in a function called move monster. And the other information that comes up in these slides just shows us the capabilities of what we can do when we're playing in the editor. So in this next one, they're saying, hey, you can type anything in here and check it out. Like if I do this, so I'm saying, what is this thing? And I hit a Command P, it actually gives me information. Lively does this with any line of code that has a value associated with it, saying, hey, this thing is the board. And I can say this dot get monster. And we did say that the monster was going to be part of the board, Command P, and yeah, there is a monster there. And you can play. But basically, we want to fill this function up with a little bit of code. But do spend some time playing. This is the description of what we want the function to be able to do. And there's a couple things that we can type in here to actually figure out what the code might be, and do take your time and go through that. But then by the time you get here, there's sort of some code, and again, it's described, but you can take this code that's right here, you can copy it, and I'm just going to Command C this, and I'm going to paste it into my function. Now, I ended up copying in an extra curly brace at the end. That's what all this red is about, because you're supposed to have one at the beginning and one at the end. And ultimately, even my tabbing is a little bit off. I'm just going to arrange that a little bit. There are a couple of lines of code here and a couple lines that are just comments that go with the code to describe what's going on. But once I get this code pasted in here, and again, it's about getting a maximum point by doing a little bit of calculation as to how far the monster can move around on the board. This is a variable that we've seen before. I can save it. Once I've got that saved, I'm starting to build my actual program. And if I keep going here, this is just showing that, gee, I can actually do things with this code that allows me to manipulate the monster on the board, and I can go through and see how I can save it and then click on it over here and watch this. I can do, I'm getting this over here. I'm going to say run it. And when I hit run, the monster does move. And this is a very successful function that you've just added to allow you to move the monster. Now, there's other descriptions in here about how you can get the monster to start moving around somewhat automatically. If I select this command, and sorry, I'm going to select the whole thing, and I'm going to hit Command D on it, and I'm not quite doing it right, sorry, because I didn't get quite the whole thing. Let me try this one more time, trying to collect it all by highlighting it and then hitting Command D. And what I can do is that said start stepping, and that means that monster is stepping out. And over here I can Command D and stop stepping, and that means the monster will stop. And again, you can play with this a little bit. But that's it. That's it for the inner tutorial. If you've gotten that far, you're doing very well. I'm going to stop it here and give you a breather.